This video is going to give you a quick run through on how to create a works cited page and what your sources should look like when they're cited on that page. For the best info on this, visit the Purdue Online Writing Lab because they give much more detail and can really give you the specifics. Unless you had an unusual circumstance with this assignment and you spoke with me, most of your sources will end up being articles in a scholarly journal that you found on the ERIC database through EBSCOhost. So most of your citations in the works cited page will fall in this format. Notice that every single one, the first line is aligned left, and any lines that follow after are indented. Okay, that's very important, and you'll see why in a minute. Here's the basic format. You start with the authors, you list them, you have a period. You, in quotation marks, you do the title of the article. Notice there's a period. In italics, you do the title of the journal that the article appeared. That would be like the magazine title. You do the volume number, period, the issue number, with the year that it was published in parentheses, with a colon, and how many pages it was. And then the last thing is the medium of publication. That means, was it print or web? What did it originally appear? Most of them will be originally print, although you will run across some that are just web publications. Now, on the OWL at Purdue, you can find what to do when there are multiple authors and things like that by going to MLA in-text citations, the basics. It'll kind of give you some guidelines here. It'll tell you what to do if there's no author printed, no known author. How do you go about doing that? You can look on here, what happens if authors have the same last name, citing work by multiple authors. It'll tell you how to do all that both in text and in the works cited page. Okay, so in text citations, and you can look in the works cited basic format, and it will give you all of the rules. That's where you need to go if you have a question. In most cases, however, this is what your works cited page will look like. I'm going to go to the bottom of my page. After your essay is finished, on a separate page, and remember I told you didn't need those. On a separate page, on its own page, you'll press return until you get there. You need a works cited page. And make sure that first, centered in the middle, notice it's centered, in Times New Roman, you want simply works cited, like that. Notice how cited is spelled. Okay. Now, I have all different types of sources requiring all different types of citation formats in this particular paper, but I want to show you the one that you're going to be most dealing with. Here's a citation from an article from a scholarly journal, and if you notice there I have my authors' names. Okay, there were actually two authors, so notice how I did that there. The title of my article, okay, the title of the journal that it appeared in, the volume, the issue number, the year, the pages, and then the medium of publication. But what I want you to notice overall is that every single one of these citations begins aligned left, and the following lines are aligned right. Now, in order to do that, it's actually kind of tricky, because when you originally write it, it will look something like this, and you will need to actually do this. You would go to the second line, you would press return first, and then tab. You'd go to the third line, then return, and it will do it automatically. But that's how it needs to look. The reason for this is, when I look at the works cited page, what's the first thing your eye notices? It should be the last names of the authors. The last names. And notice that they're in alphabetical order by last name too. That's important as well. So they need to be alphabetical order, and the first line's aligned left. And that's because when we're reading our essay and we see a quote, for instance, from Neild and Ball fans, we would want to be able to quickly look at that works cited page, go down to where the ends are, Neild and Ball fans, right there they are, Neild, and make that correlation and be able to see it like that. But your works cited page needs to look very plain, just like this, and have everything on there correct. The nice thing is for you guys is that if we use EBSCOhost, it will do part of the citation for you, although it won't fix the font. You'll have to do that yourself, and you'll need to make sure that it's aligned correctly and in alphabetical order.